Stampers. This is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper. Welcome to my studio here in Kentucky. Tonight we're going to be making this sweet little Valentine's card. This is using the Be Mine Sweet collection. And this is a little easel card. So it opens up and there's your sentiment inside. And then it props up and sits like this. This is called a center easel card. So hopefully you can see how that's made. So that's what we're doing tonight. I'll be using the Be Mine Sweet collection. I'm going to show that to you real quick. The Be My Valentine stamp set. And this is the coordinating punch. I'm not sure if you can see that. It's hard to show these on with those ring lights, but hopefully you get, maybe you can see it there, even though it does have a big ring on it. So the stamp and the punch. There's also designer series paper. So I'm just going to go through that real quick. This one is flowers and stripes. We have bees and a plaid. We have jars of honey and bee trails. Can you see the little bee trails? More bees, more hearts. And then these are the two, they're already cut because I've used these in class. So we have the hearts and we have more bees on the back. And then this one has cute little bees and it has honeycomb on the back. So those are the papers that come with this suite. You get 2 of each of those. They're all double-sided. This is Sweet Sorbet ribbon. It's a bordered ribbon. These are pillow boxes. They make little square pillow boxes. And the embellishments. These are the adhesive, where does it say? Adhesive backed hearts and flowers. They come in there's 4 or 5 different colors there. So that is the sweet collection. We won't be using the ribbon or the boxes tonight, but we will be using the paper and the stamp set and the punch. So let's get started. We're gonna need supplies. We're gonna need a card base. This is 5.5 by 8.5. This is Daffodil Delight. We're gonna score it. We're gonna need some paper. These 2 strips are 1 1/4 by 4, and these are 1 7/8 by 2 1/4. Then we've got this piece, I think this is 3 by 4, piece of basic white. I've also taken a scrap of paper and I've cut out this circle from our Stylish Shapes circle. So that's this one. And if you have the Stylish Shapes, the circles, there are 6 of those. And this is, if you count from the outside, this would be the 3rd one from the outside. So the 3rd largest one. And then I've got a piece of black. This is just a scrap that will fit onto this decorative circle punch. So this is the decorative circle punch. Hopefully you can see that. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and do that now while we've got it right here. Just gonna punch that out. All right, and then I've got a scrap to stamp on, and I've got a small scrap of Sweet Sorbet. So let's get started. We're gonna work on our card first. So we're going to score this at 4 1/4. That'll be half of our 8.5. So that's just going to be scoring it. Or if you don't want to score it, you can just fold it in half. So we're folding that in half. I'm going to put this to the side. I will be bringing that back. I'm going to just burnish this with my bone folder. Now I'm going to bring out my paper trimmer. And I'm going to put this card in. I'm going to put it in at 1 1/2. And I'm going to cut up to the score line. Now, if you're going to err on the side of not cutting far enough, because you can always take your little scissors and you can snip that just a little bit. So we don't really want to go past that line. So we're going to cut up to there. And then we're going to bring this to 1.5 up here. I don't know if you can see the top. There we go. So on this side, I measured to 1.5, which is right along that edge of the dark there. So right at the edge of the ruler would be 1.5. So we've got that. And then we're going to measure 1.5 here on this side. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut up to our score line. So now we have these 3 pieces. All right, our next step is going to be to stamp the inside piece of our card. So I'm going to bring out my foam mat. And inside my card, I'm going to stamp in Memento black ink. And I've got these words from the stamp set that says, "You'll always be the one for me." So I'm just going to ink that up. And I'm going to stamp it. Get the dog fur off. Stamp it right there. All right, so there's the inside. I'm also going to stamp this honeycomb, which is also from the same set. Everything we're using here is from this very same set, the Be My Valentine bundle. I'm just going to ink that up. And let's see. I'll just put it right here in the corner. So now we have some honeycomb and we have words. Let me get this out of the way for now. Alrighty. So we're ready to put this in our card. And I've had this cut so that there's a little 1/8 of an inch border at the top and an 1/8 of an inch border at the bottom. So you'll just want to line that up. And then you want to make sure that this white piece is coming out past both of those cut lines. So we want to make sure we're beyond the cut line on both sides. And we'll just glue this piece right in. Again, this was a 3x4. If you're cutting a lot of these, a 12x12 will give you the perfect measurements to get several of these with no waste. All right, now we've got that glued down. We are actually going to glue or adhere, whatever adhesive you like to use. We're going to adhere these flaps down. So that is all glued down. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to put a fold line, a score line, in that top flap. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing this over to 2 1/8 because that will be half. This is a 4 1/4, card front. So half of that is 2 1/8. So all I'm going to do is line this right up at the top. And I'm going to just come down that score line and I'm going to score that flap. And then I'm going to fold that towards the center of the card, and that's going to be our center easel. Now we're ready to put our DSP on, our designer series paper, if you're not familiar with the term DSP. Excuse me. And when I look at these papers, I see the leaves and the flowers. So I want those to be right side up, because with the bees, you can't tell because they're going every which way. So I looked at the flowers and the leaves to decide which way this goes. I'm just going to put glue or whatever adhesive you're using and just put it right on both of those flaps. that we glued down. And these pieces with the flowers, they're going to go on that center easel. All right, and now we are ready to do some stamping. So we'll put that card to the side. I'm going to bring my foam pad back in. I'm going to stamp Happy Valentine's Day in the memento. And I'm going to keep that at the bottom of this circle because I want to have plenty of room to put my bee at the top. So I'm just going to stamp that down in the bottom, kind of the bottom left. Set that to the side. And now we're ready for this bee. And the bee has lots of stamps and lots of little pieces. So let me get them all over here. Alrighty, we're going to stamp the body of the bee in Daffodil Delight. So that's the oval. It's just a solid oval. I'm just going to stamp it right there. And I'm finished with the yellow. And then I'm going to go to the memento again. And I've got this stamp that is his little stinger and his stripes. I'm going to take that and ink that up in the memento. And then I'm going to line that up. And I'm probably going to have to get this over here before I can see it a little bit better. Line that up and stamp that. And then I've got a little face. I'm going to put the little bee face on. Isn't that cute? I love it. And I'm going to stamp the antenna, and I'm going to put those right over here, and I'm going to put them upside down, and you'll see why in just a minute. And then I've got the wings. They are going to go in petal pink. So I'm going to stamp this, kind of an outline of the wings. And then I'm going to fill it in with this stamp, which could also be a heart, because it's heart-shaped. And I'm going to stamp this one off one time. So I'm going to stamp it so that it'll be a little bit lighter. And again, I'm going to have to get over here where I can see what I'm doing. So there are our wings. Now the bee can be made different ways. Let me grab this piece of paper. So this is what our bee is looking like. So it's a side view of the bee, and it has the wings at the top. But if you look at this one, it's kind of more of a frontal view, and it has wings on both sides. So there are different ways to make this bee. And now we're going to get the punch, and we are going to punch. So I'm just lining that up in there. And there's our body. And then I'm going to cut this off so I can get to that a little bit better. So line the wings up in there and punch those out. And there are our wings. I've got a lot of little pieces of scraps here. And then our little antenna And the reason those are upside down is because that will fit right into that. See that small heart? So this punches out all those pieces of the bee, but it also is hearts. So you could also use this punch to punch out, let me get rid of these scraps, punch out hearts. So we're gonna do that with this little scrap of sweet sorbet, and we're gonna punch a little red heart to go with our project. So now we have our pieces. We're gonna take some glue. I'm gonna put that little guy to the side. And now we can add our wings. And our antenna. And how cute is that little bee? Is he not adorable? We've got this piece, the circle that we stamped Happy Valentine's Day on, and we're just going to put some adhesive on the back of that. And put that on our black decorative circle. And now we're ready to put this on our card. We're going to center it on our card, but we don't want to adhere, we only want to adhere the bottom, because if we adhere the top, it's not going to fold to make our easel. So you'll want to just put some dimensionals on the bottom. And again, we're going to center that and stick that down. And now our card will still set up. And I'm going to put a dimensional on the bottom of the bee, or you could put two, whatever you think it needs. And we'll just stick it, the little bee right on there. Now, a couple more things. We have this little red heart, and we're just going to put a little piece of a dimensional on the back of this little red heart. So just a tiny, I like to maybe cut, these little edges are perfect for that. So you can just take a little piece like that. Stick it right on there. And now this is going to determine where our card stops. So this is our little door stop. So you decide how far down, you know, if you wanted it to be there, if you want it up here, however far down you want. I'm going to put it right here. And so that's now going to be my stopper to keep my card easel standing up. The last thing I did on this, actually next to the last thing, I wanted to add some sparkle. So I took my Wink of Stella and I added some Wink of Stella to my bee wings. And I also, I don't know if you can see that, also added Wink of Stella to this little heart to make it sparkle and shine. This is one of my favorite tools, this Wink of Stella, because it works with any color and it adds that sparkle and shine without adding glitter that's going to be everywhere. So I don't know if you can see the shine on the bee wings. And I don't know if you can see the shine on the heart, but it's there. The last thing I did was add one of the little embellishments. And I thought it was cute. There were all these little, I think it's pool party, all these little blue hearts. And so that was what I chose to add. And I just took one of the little blue hearts and I just put it up here on the circle. And so there is our card. This is a center easel card. I hope you enjoyed this project. If you have any questions, you can reach me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more projects, I have a website, www.bluegrassstamper.com. I do send out tutorials weekly, so sign up to subscribe to my newsletter. Of course, if you have anything, any supplies that you need, I would love for you to shop with me. I appreciate every order I get. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.